Today we're going through the top 8 franchise billionaires. We've gone through thousands of franchise systems, going through who is the beneficial owner of these franchise systems, the franchise brand, to create this essential list of the top 8 franchise billionaires. So you're going to recognize some big names, who's behind Chick-fil-A, Whataburger, Panda Express. We're going to go through those families that created these giants in the United States, Canada, and abroad. So first up is the Cathy family, Chick-fil-A. Their estimated net worth is $14.2 billion. Chick-fil-A is a quick service restaurant, fast food throughout the United States, mostly boneless breast chicken sandwiches. It's also famous for waffle fries and various sauces that you now can buy at grocery stores. They do sales per location of 6 million plus. They've grown over the last 50 plus years from a regional brand in Georgia to all across the United States. Their Miami location's doing over $10 million. The family, how it works out, the franchise, you're not a true franchisee because you don't own 100%. You don't really own the business. You split the profits with the Cathy family. So if you're running a Chick-fil-A and you're the manager, you go through a very competitive vetting process to even get to that step. And the Cathy family is keeping 50%, but they're also footing the investment to open up the Chick-fil-A. And then you as the operator is keeping 50%, which for a Chick-fil-A could be anywhere from $200,000 to $400,000 plus. So not bad as an operator. Their operators are becoming millionaires, while the Cathy family continues to be a billionaire family and continue to grow. Next up, you have Alain Bouchard, who's from Quebec City, Canada. His estimated net worth is $5.5 billion. He co-founded and is the chairman of Alimentation Couche-Tard, a Canadian multinational convenience store operator and franchise system. The company has 15,000 stores. Forbes estimates his net worth at $5.5 billion. That's right, $5.5 billion. He opened his first convenience store in 1980 in Laval. In 1985, he acquired 11 Couche-Tard brand stores in Quebec City area, which he merged with existing stores in the Montreal area to rename the whole company Alimentation Couche-Tard. In 1994, Couche-Tard already had a significant convenience store operator in Quebec. It acquired La Maisonnée from Steinberg and Pret Chains, as well as Max stores in Quebec. In 2003, Circle K was purchased by Alain's group for $830 million. Circle K has 9,800 plus stores in North America, 2,700 plus in Europe, and about 2,400 in locations across the world outside those areas operating under a franchise or license arrangement. In 2021, Couche-Tard dropped its 16.2 billion euro takeover to buy French grocery store chain Carrefour. The takeover plans had strong opposition from the French government, food security issues they claimed, so that fell through. This 73-year-old billionaire seems to just be getting started and is really hungry to continue growing. So I'm excited to see what the next 10, 20 years have in store for Alain and his Alimentation Couche-Tard empire that he's built. Number 3 on the list, you have the Ilitch family. They're behind Little Caesars, estimated net worth $4.3 billion, American multinational pizza chain, 3rd largest pizza franchise in the United States after Domino's and Pizza Hut. Based in Detroit, Michigan. Domino's also from Michigan, and a lot of these concepts like Marco's Pizza. The pizza chain is held by Ilitch Holdings. It was founded in 1959 by Mike Ilitch and his wife Marion. And their catchphrase, I remember when I was younger listening to Pizza Pizza, and that was introduced in 1979. Between 2008 2015, it was the fastest growing pizza chain in the United States. And they have over 5,000 locations across the United States and world. So Little Caesars hasn't fared as well compared to Domino's, for example, but that doesn't seem to be making a big dent in the Ilitch family fortune. Next up, you have the Cherng family behind the Panda Express empire, estimated net worth $3.2 billion. For those who don't know, Panda Express is a fast food franchise chain that primarily serves American Chinese food. So think about orange chicken, kung pao chicken, teriyaki chicken, Beijing beef. Andrew Cherng and family own and operate 2,100 plus restaurants based on estimated EBITDA earnings per unit of $250,000 and a multiple they would get if they sold those of 5 times, which could be a lot higher. We estimate the family's restaurant portfolio is worth $2.9 billion. That doesn't include their other assets, the real estate they might own, other assets. So their net estimated net worth is higher than the 2.9 billion of the restaurants, the corporate-owned stores that they're operating under Panda Express. There's over 2,300 locations. A good amount of those are franchise. We've done a video on Panda Express that you can check out for more information if you're interested in Panda Express. But do know that the corporately owned and managed locations do significantly better. So Andrew and his family are profiting quite well. And then the licensed locations that are generally non-traditional on an airport, their average sales are not as high compared to the freestanding ones that Andrew and his family are running throughout the United States. Next up, you have the Dobson family behind Whataburger. So those that are from Texas or generally in the South, or they have some locations here even in Florida, will know Whataburger, fast food chain, opened 1950, headquarters and based in San Antonio, Texas, specializes in hamburgers. We did another list of the top 20 fast food franchise chains. Number 1 was Chick-fil-A, number 2, Whataburger. No surprise that the family behind Whataburger is also on this list. For 20 years, it opted not to pursue franchising by growing only corporately owned outlets. They did franchising for a little bit, put that on hold. However, that all changed when another group backed by a billionaire, BDT Capital Partners, a merchant bank that invests in family and founder-led companies, made a majority investment in Whataburger. So the Dobson family had a pretty big payday, but they kept some chips on the table and they still have a minority stake in Whataburger. After a 20-year hiatus, Whataburger is stepping into franchising, redesigning outlets, and despite what happened during the pandemic, Whataburger sales have done really well and they continue to grow. So comparing Whataburger with Chick-fil-A real quick, you've got to have a net liquid assets of 5 million, net worth 12.5 million. So this is for serious operators that generally already have experience in the United States and for people that are willing to open up and develop 5 Whataburger locations. Next up, you have Travis Boersma from Dutch Bros. Dutch Bros is based in Oregon, was founded by Dane and Travis Boersma, and is headquartered in Grants Pass, Oregon. Primarily operates in the Western United States. I went to one of their Arizona locations, was totally packed. Average sales over $2 million, and the square footage for this little takeout coffee stand was like 600 square feet with crazy foot traffic volume, and it was right across from the Arizona State campus. But we could do another whole follow-up episode on Dutch Bros. We've done one a while ago. We got to update it. Their revenue's been continuing to grow. 2019, 238 million, 327 million in 2020. They IPO'd, raised $484 million, selling about 21 million shares for $23 per share. And fast forward, the company's not only crossed 600 unit mark, it has achieved a record $1 billion in system sales for the trailing past 12 months. So from last month and the 12 months before that, over $1 billion in sales. It took Dutch Bros 27 years to reach 328 coffee shops. And in the past 3.5 years, has opened 275 locations, mostly corporate stores. That was a big part of the proceeds for their IPO, was to continue opening corporate stores. They're not franchising at the moment. And going back, the two brothers in 1994 struck a deal with their customer, Marty McKenna, which allowed him to open up his own Dutch Bros 30 miles away from the original location. And it's an amazing concept that we wish them all the best. Dane tragically passed away in 2009 at just the age of 55 from Lou Gehrig's disease. And Dutch Bros definitely does a lot of charity, and they're bringing on Dane's legacy. Next up, you have the Cancro family, who's behind Jersey Mike's. Estimated net worth, $1.2 billion. Jersey Mike's franchise restaurant offers wide assortment of made-to-order subs, other hot sandwiches. So from 1956 to 2002, they operated under Mike's Submarines, then changed the name to Jersey Mike's in 2002. Today, Peter Cancro is the CEO of Jersey Mike's Franchise Systems Incorporated, overseeing more than 2,000 locations open and under development. In 1971, at the age of only 17, he raised $125K to purchase the single store, and he began franchising about 16 years after. Fast forward 35 years, their average unit volume has exploded from less than 300,000 per year in sales to stores are now averaging $1.1 million. So as a barometer, you have Subway restaurants, they don't even clear $500,000. So it takes like 2+ Subways to even equal 1 Jersey Mike's. They're doing incredibly well. As of a September 2019 report, according to S&P Global, Peter Cancro owned 100% of Jersey Mike's subs. Big on charity, Jersey Mike's March month of giving. Peter and team regularly raise $4 to $8 billion plus for charities. They have different holdings, and part of the assets, we saw a private plane, I believe, worth $40 billion on that the franchise brand owns. They're doing incredibly well in earnings, and that's propelled Peter's Cancro and the Cancro family's net worth over the last 5 years from what we estimate $400 million, passing the $1 billion mark. Again, on that sandwich industry of the DeLuca family behind Subway, estimated net worth $1.1 billion. In 1965, a college freshman named Fred DeLuca received an initial investment of $1,000 from Dr. Pete, a nuclear physicist, to open up a sub sandwich shop to help pay his tuition. And after starting that, called Pete's Subway in Bridgeport, Connecticut, it's now currently the largest sandwich chain and had 37,000 plus locations in more than 100 countries and territories. More than half of its locations are in the US. That being said, it's not all rosy for the chain. It's seen better days. In 2017, they closed 800 locations. 2018 closed 500 more, and they've been on a downward trajectory. In 2019, 990 locations closed, 1,600 net loss 2020. So there were some openings and a net loss of 1,600 locations. And then in 2021, a net loss of 1,000 locations in the United States. Subway's EBITDA, so the franchisor, continues to do all right, of earnings of $32 million, which puts the valuation at a roughly $850 million for Subway. So including projections of other family assets, Vetted Biz predicts the DeLuca family net worth to be $1.1 billion. This is substantially less than the Forbes estimate of $3 billion back in 2014. And also, industry insiders have confirmed that their sandwich empire is up for sale. So we'll see what potentially the price is if they do decide to sell, and if the net worth of the DeLuca family increases or decreases after the sale of that asset. I hope you enjoyed today the top 8 franchise billionaires. We're going to be doing a follow-up on franchisees in the US and abroad that are also billionaires, so stay tuned for that.